Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike from 1AAuto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And next time you need parts for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a front window regulator on this 2002 Ford Escape. We will be working on the driver's side. The passenger side front door is basically the same procedure, and this is the same for any 2001 to 2007. Also similar for the Mercury Mariner. The tools you'll need are a small flat blade screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, and a 10mm socket with a ratchet and extension.
Okay, to start out, use a small screwdriver and remove this little trap door. Okay, to start out, use a little screwdriver. There's kind of a little trap door here. Reach in, pry it out. There's a Phillips screwdriver, the Phillips screw back in there. Same thing here. Pop that off, Phillips screw. Then there's a Phillips screw right down in the door pull, and another Phillips screw on the back.
And just fast forward here as I remove those 4 screws.
Okay, once you have those out, then you pull your bezel around your door handle here right off. Okay, and now usually you can reach right into this corner, start pulling out, and work your fingers underneath. Pull out firm. There's a series of clips. Hold the door on. There's 2 up in here. Okay. Door comes off.
And even though I'm going in fast motion here, you want to carefully pull your water shield down. Be careful not to rip it. While you're doing that, also there is a Phillips screw there on the bracket that holds that bracket in place. Remove that and pull the water shield down so you can access the inside of your door.
Okay, so the window regulators on these vehicles are cable actuated. Okay, and actually the regulator on my truck is absolutely fine, but I wanted to do this video to show you. What will happen when your regulator breaks is generally when you press the button, when it breaks you'll hear a kind of maybe a clicking or grinding and then a pop noise. That pop is usually the cable breaking. And once your regulator is broken, your window will probably just fall down into the door. Once you get to this point, you can lift and raise and lower your window by hand. Okay. What you want to do is put your window at this point so you can see these 2 bolts here, and you want to remove, I believe, yes, you want to remove those 2 bolts.
Increase the speed here as I use a 10mm socket with a ratchet and extension to remove those 2 bolts.
Now you can remove this piece of weather strip, and then your window will come up off the regulator, and you can pull the back of it up first and pull the window right out. Okay, now you'll want to disconnect your lead to your window motor, just by pressing a tab there and pulling it off. And then these 3 bolts here hold the motor in, and then this nut and this nut down here hold your window regulator on.
And I'll fast forward here as I remove those 2 nuts and the 3 bolts. And to give yourself some more room, there's a little clip that holds the wiring harness. You just kind of reach in back and pinch the tabs on the clip to pull it out, and that lets you move the wiring harness around and get the regulator out a little more easily.
new regulator from One Auto. It's going to mount in the same. There are a couple minor differences. The motor mounts with nuts instead of bolts, and the motor has a pigtail on it. It's going to connect the same, it's just going to be in a little different place. So first I'm just going to take these 3 nuts off. Okay, so we put the regulator and motor back in just the same. There.
Okay, once you have the regulator in place, just use the 3 nuts and start them onto the studs for the window motor, and then tighten them up. And you want to tighten them up nice and snug. You don't need to over tighten them though. And also while you're here, you can reconnect the window motor lead and then put the 2 nuts back on the regulator rails and tighten those up as well.
Okay. Now you want to put the nose in. Just make sure you kind of guide it around the regulator here. Make sure the back and front are in the track. Goes up and down nice and easy. Slide it down to the regulator. Plug my panel back in. I've got the key on. I just got to run the window up a little bit so I can get to this hole right here.
And I'm just going to fast forward here as I insert that second bolt and tighten it up.
Okay, with everything hooked up now, quick test. And it works pretty good. Disconnect this. Back on. That.
Okay, and then carefully put your water shield back in place. Look at some of the holes where the screws go and the guide pins on the door panel, just to make sure that it's lined up well. You don't want to block off the screw holes.
First, reconnect your harness. Hook the top up and over the weather strip here. Okay, look back in here. Make sure the pins are going into the holes.
And fast forward as I put the bezel on, and then the screws, the natural colored screw goes behind the door handle. The skinnier diameter black screw goes in the back, and then the 2 larger black screws go in the door pull and the front of the door panel. And then to finish up, make sure you just close the little trap door in behind the door handle and put that front button trim back on. We hope this helps you out. brought to you by www.1aauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.